Swagbucks is an online rewards community that aggregates regular online activities such as shopping, doing surveys, playing games, and provides a rewarding component to it so that the members who engage in all those different verticals and activities can earn points, combine them, and redeem them for gift cards to any of the top 100 retailers or cash.
So, before we talk about all the current success that you guys are experiencing, let's go back to the start for a little bit. Can you tell us about what it was like coming into work every day from the beginning, or what it was like building the initial stages of Prodege?
Yeah, I'll take that. So the original idea was had by our CEO and our business partner, Joseph Gurwitz. So his original conception in 2006 was to raise money for charities using internet search. And at that time, I got very excited about that idea, and it was just he and I. So coming into work every day was me and then Joseph in the top of a Jewish community center in Redondo Beach, grinding every day, trying to figure out how to get clients. Very, very different than what we have right now.
I know throughout the last 7 years you guys have pivoted many times. What was the most pivotal moment during the first year?
The most pivotal moment in the first year was attracting our first clients. Mm-hmm. Actually, even before that, was realizing we pivoted the first time after 6 months. Mm-hmm. And we realized very quickly that to scale what we want to do, we'd have to pursue a new path. And making that realization so early on was crucial. Shortly thereafter, we went into a new vertical, which was our first pivot, and we signed our first client, and that really gave us confidence that this was a business.
And so when you say clients, you're talking about B2B clients.
Well, so the original conception of Prodege was to take search engines, private label them, give them to nonprofits, and allow their supporters to use it. And by virtue of that, it would generate ad revenue, and we'd share it back with the nonprofits. So at that time, the client was a nonprofit. After 6 months, we realized that the nonprofit route was a very difficult one. 2006 was very early in online fundraising. So we took this to a more mainstream and, for lack of a better way to put it, a for-profit route. And we went to bands, sports teams, and brands and offered them the same product, but with a rewards element. So at that time, our client was brands, sports teams, and musicians.
Right. So then fast forward to Swagbucks, and you guys are getting your first immense stages of traffic. What did that look like, that process?
It took, to get to the point where we realized this was probably a significant business was a few years. The first bits of traffic took, to be honest, it didn't take that long, because at that time we were having Maroon 5 or Kanye West or big bands promoting us. So by virtue of their fan base, we're able to aggregate our users.
Right. And what's so interesting about your traffic, though, is that you have this type of brand loyalty. I mean, did you focus on this loyalty from the beginning with the mindset that everything would grow from that?
Yeah, even very early on with Swagbucks, when we created that brand, that's a brand nobody knew of. Everybody knew Kanye and Maroon 5 and the New York Giants. And so we had to focus on that trust aspect of it. So from the very beginning, the core tenets of what we wanted to do, however the product looked, was to make sure that the people that are coming by are getting value for their time, that they're engaged. We spent a lot of time on Facebook just engaging, saying hello, a lot of interaction so that they could feel like this was a community and not just a faceless company that they were visiting.
And I know one of the biggest things for you guys is changing people's behavior. So you want people to log on to Swagbucks before they log on to a site like Google. What's the most important thing you've learned about altering people's habits?
I think you just have to make it as close to the experience that they want. Mm-hmm. So a person isn't going to change their habits for a lesser habit, for one that's not as valuable or that doesn't provide the same benefits that they're looking for, just because they might be getting an incentive or a reward or whatnot. So the content has to be top notch, in addition to whatever else you're going to provide for them.
Okay, and now your product pretty much applies to every demographic. So what is your marketing approach to targeting this huge range of people?
Well, different aspects of our business appeal to different demographics. So we try to target the right segment to the right consumer, and concurrent with that, we try to target the right offers, the right advertisers to specifically the right member that comes to our site. So if you come to our site, hopefully you'll have a different experience than if you came to the site because you have different interests.
What have you found so far to be the most successful or used part of the website?
You know, what's beautiful about our business is it's very well diversified. We've got a whole number of channels, and a lot of those different channels, whether that's surveys or shopping or offers, are all significant in their own right. And they all have a core user base that, you know, loves each individual. Some of them cross over, some don't. It's pretty well, it's great. They're all well diversified.
So let's talk a little bit about the science behind the aesthetics of your webpage. I mean, a lot of companies are doing A/B testing constantly. So what features are you focusing on, or what has changed the most? What's evolved the most over time?
Well, a lot's evolved, and if you look at the iteration of Swagbucks from the beginning, it's changed not only in terms of the focus of the company, but the way that it's presented. And it's all about, I think, clarity. And how can you make the proposition to the new member, the new user, as clear as possible, as quickly as possible? So the current design is to help them kind of just see the flow and understand the process, because there is a lot going on. There is a lot of different ways to earn Swagbucks, and there's the different verticals, and then there's the rewards, and there's the whole point component. So kind of creating a flow to understand right now of, you know, here's my account, here's all the ways I can earn, and then here's what I can do with the points. So it's linear in some degree.
So once you think you figured out a feature that will provide more clarity with your website and an easier flow, what's the process like for releasing these new features, or to make sure that you guys continue innovating?
We have a product council, which is a small subset of core users that will give us feedback on that product first. We take that back, iterate on it, and then we start releasing it. Once we have a product that we feel meets the standards, start releasing it to smaller subsets of our users and testing it from there. And
So
then
you
ultimately,
you're pretty lean then with your product testing.
we are now, yeah. Early, when you're an early startup,
Yeah.
you're not. You just throw against the wall and keep building. At this point, we become an evolved organization where we have leaders of various departments that have a lot of experience doing all these types of initiatives.
And when you guys start out releasing new things and trying new things, for a startup, often in its early stages, any type of feedback, if someone says something's not good or you should improve this, you think you should immediately do it. How do you guys evaluate customer feedback?
Well, we have a great customer feedback loop through our customer service channel, and that gets fed all the way out through sometimes the executive team, and that sometimes gets fed right directly to the product team. And then from there, it becomes an internal evaluation. And once we determine internally that this is something we're interested in, we'll filter it out to more users. But the reality is every user has their own perception of what Swagbucks should be, or what any site, what Facebook should be. And a lot of them will be very vocal and very open with giving you their feedback. And we're always taking it, but sometimes it's not always right for our business.
Did Mega Swagbucks come from feedback, or?
I don't remember how Mega Swag was.
I mean, Mega Swagbucks probably just came. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know if it was directly from that, but the idea of people wanting to earn bigger bucks or more bucks. I mean, that sentiment. So sometimes our members will give us an idea conceptually of something they'd like to see, and then from that we can create a program based on the tenets of what they want, maybe not exactly what they want.
And really early on, Mega Swagbucks was something that we developed very early on into the Swagbuck program. A lot of it was very fluid at that time. It was kind of like a whirlwind. It was, we had an idea, seems like a good idea, let's just do it. And if it worked, we continued pressing down on it. So I don't remember where a lot of it came from, but I remember it was a very active time of very active ideas and pursuing them very, very diligently.
Yeah, we iterated very quickly early on.
And we were a very lean team too. I mean, by the time Swagbucks started, we were probably 7 people.
And when you guys started, I know every day you release a special code on one of your social media outlets, and you guys have, like Chase said, the Mega Swagbucks. How do you strategize behind constantly releasing new content so everyone is always talking about Swagbucks? Because I've seen multiple blogs, chat rooms, forums where people are, here's the code for today, or here's how you can get more Swagbucks. So the audience is really, really engaged.
We have deep connection with the audience, whether that's on our Facebook community or that's through an internal program we have with bloggers. So we have a team here that works directly with a lot of these sites that promote us and helps giving them the content that they need to get the word out about us.
Okay, so looking back now, it's been 7 years, immensely successful. But when you go back to the beginning stages, is there one mistake that you made, and if you were sitting down with a new entrepreneur, you could tell them, listen, we did this, it didn't work out, here's how you can do it better?
I would say at no point ever think that you've cracked the code or that you've won or that you're invincible or whatnot, because no matter what you do, no matter how successful it is, there's always going to be other people that are going to be growing their businesses and iterating, and competitors and threats that will continue. So there's never a point, I think, when you can stop and rest on your laurels. You have to always be iterating.
Yeah, and you can't get distracted when these competitors come up, because in the history of Prodege, I remember in numerous conversations with you, with Yosef, about all these competitors that are coming up, and should we worry about them? And at the end of the day, the best decision is to not worry about them and to keep just building your business, understanding what your core offering is, and building upon it.
Wonderful. And so I know right now you guys are currently targeted towards the U.S. and you guys are in the top Alexa ratings with 8 million users. That's incredible. Congratulations on that. Do you have any ideas or anything in the works to start reaching more of a global audience?
We actually are. We have an international department here that is in the UK, Canada, Australia, and
Ireland, India.
And India. I think that's the bulk of it right now. But the biggest ones being Canada and UK right now.
Okay, and so you guys are experts in monetizing every single user interaction. So many startups right now, they feel like monetizing their product and everything from the beginning is going to kind of make their company look bad, of course. So what is your advice to an entrepreneur that's looking to monetize fast without hurting their brand or their image?
Really depends on what the brand is and how they're monetizing. You know, what we were able to do was to find a way to monetize people's time, so they didn't necessarily have to spend money, and they could do things that they enjoyed. I mean, that's just for our business model. You know, the traditional or the standard is obviously to run ads, and sometimes ads can be disruptive, and that might not be good. But probably that just try to integrate into the fabric of what people are already doing monetization opportunities that don't feel disruptive, however that would work for your business.
So you guys are currently the leading online reward system. Looking towards 2014, what steps have you taken and do you plan to take to ensure you stay on top?
I think just continuing to add more value to the program. I mean, everything's based on value in terms of the members that are coming in. Are they continuing to get the top quality of the verticals that they're currently engaged in? Are there more verticals that we can add where they can earn? Is there everything that they want to redeem their points for? You know, kind of what we were just speaking about, how you never finish. You know, all the products we have could be better. It could be more personal. It could have deeper brand integration. It could have more social components, more fun, or wider distribution. So sticking to the same focus and then just continuing to grow it, hopefully.
I wanted to talk about, I saw a video where you guys are talking about you're not athletic pros, you're
bad at sports,
but that's false because you're awesome at basketball, aren't you?
I have a few trick shots that started to circulate a little bit, but that was another lifetime.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, once upon a time. I think. Yeah, when I wasn't in an office so much.